Hey, everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive, another edition. Oh, I like these days. It is another music show from our Newburyport studios. Our guest today, the one and only Chad Hollister. Welcome to Newburyport. How you doing, man?
Love Drew's house.
Oh, this is a fun spot, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's cool. You know, because I have family in Marblehead.
Yeah.
I've never spent any time here.
There you go.
Well, because I always have a place to stay in
Right.
Marblehead, you know, and I've never played here. I've come close a couple of times.
Until this weekend.
To brewing, exactly. Yeah, it's coming out.
The Riverfest, Chad, is on that bill, guys. So if anybody gets a chance to go down Saturday, it's going to be a fun day. That's a great. So this stage, you'll love this. You're right on the water. I mean, you won't play a more picturesque place.
I've seen pictures of it. Donald from the river. It's just great to be with those guys.
Yeah. You know, you'll as much as you'll love this room, the waterfront is probably a little bit nicer. Although this is a very close second. Yeah, great studio. Sounds good in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like it. You sound great, man. I missed your voice. Last time I got to see you was I guess it was the winter time now.
Yeah.
That was the night we met. We had some mutual friends put us in touch. And you played up in New Hampshire, and you were fantastic that night. Kind of stole the room.
Yeah.
And
well, it's cool to be a part of that. I mean, I think that, you know, when it was this kind of a, you know, idol type thing.
That's right. It was Seabrook Idol. Yep.
Yeah, and so it was fun. It was fun to just to do my thing and to meet great up and coming songwriters that you know, we hope someday to be doing it full time.
Yeah.
Just always have a couple words for anybody that wants to do it, because you know
is
it's a lot of work, man.
It is a tough business, isn't it?
You know, I mean, yeah. Well, and now getting back at it's beautiful, but it's beautiful. And it's so much of it comes from just maintaining positivity and believing in what you do and feeling that you have something to offer. And that comes from the fans and cool people like you. Our friend group is pretty awesome. Like you,
it is.
As we met, you know, good old Facebook. I get on and like, oh, you know, because I used to be with N Train and so there was Brian Alex and Tom Major connection, and just so many. Spider webs from there, you know, the North Shore music scene. You know, Benny Benson and Mike Mixis, and just, you know, like we could go on forever about it, but it's pretty cool. I love seeing mutual friends as our relationship grows.
Spiderwebs, good way of putting it. I always say that's my favorite thing about doing this show, besides the fact that I get to listen to these free, you know, great artists like you for an hour by myself, which is spoiled. But you get to meet these people, and it's like I always have something to do, because it's always, I can, you know, this person says, go check this person out, go check this person out.
And there's so much.
I know.
I think that's like, you know, like one of my favorites. Do you know Jen Kearney? Is she one of our mutuals?
She's not. I don't think I've ever met Jen.
You have to.
She's next. No.
She's like Stevie Wonder in a female body. Like,
okay.
She's so talented, and she's part of that scene. And my percussionist, the gentleman that we are blessed to have play percussion with us, he's set me straight a few times. Yaluba Garcia also plays with her, and a lot of those cats on the North Shore. But he's
cool
doing the Adrian Ballou, Jerry Harrison tour right now, which is the Talking Heads tribute. They just played Beach Fest, and they were just somewhere in Canada. But anyway, but there's just, the point is, there's so many great people, and that we've been doing it for a long time, you know, and dedicated to music, and everybody has their side hustle. Like Jen, you know, Jen has actually taught me some piano, and I'm horrible, but I'm trying to learn. But she teaches piano. But
do you write all your songs on guitar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, piano is gonna be close.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, you know, you write a song on piano, and then you got to bring a piano.
Yeah, that's true.
That's called musician laziness. Right there. I write one on piano, then I got to bring a damn piano. It's really true, because if people hear that, you know, then that's, you know, because they're very different writing tools,
yeah.
You know, but you know, I'm a drummer that moved to guitar, that you know, just started putting my favorite people together to play my music.
And for those who haven't heard your music, you'll hear that kind of creep in a little bit, even with some of your stripped down stuff. You play this percussion that comes across, you know?
Yeah, it's inevitable. In the beginning, when I started playing guitar, I broke a lot of strings.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I just felt that I had to really beat the crap out of the guitar.
Right.
And then I realized, there's a PA system that can also do the work, and I can save money on strings. So I started relaxing a little bit. But anyway, it's great, man. It's so fun.
This just came to me. I wasn't even planning on talking about this. There was one night during the pandemic that we had just seen you. I guess it was probably not long after I saw you up in New Hampshire. But my wife and I have been spending a lot of pandemic nights, fixing our cure of not being able to go out and see people on a regular basis, of watching like shows at home, just going on YouTube, putting it on the TV. And we ended up watching your show up there at, was it for the NPR up in Vermont, or it was
it in Zen Barn?
Yes, I think
So
it
was called VT Sounds.
Okay, yeah.
And we were.
You guys were great.
Yeah, we were raising money for the it's the New England Musicians Relief Fund. So like my buddy Adam Klein that knows everybody.
Yeah, my buddy too. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, so he's a dear friend of mine, and he said, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Let's do it." Or maybe I went to him, and so he had his whole team on that. So I basically, arranged between myself and then there were members of the VSO that are members of which is Vermont Symphony Orchestra, sorry.
Yeah.
And they
everybody knows that. Come on.
they got some orchestral people in there, and then my buddy Russ Lawton. The cool thing, Russ plays drums for Trey Anastasio and Tab. Trey Anastasio band, and he's one of my longtime dearest friends, and I wanted him to, he's a great guitar player and singer, so I requested that he played Too Quick to Judge. And do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Too Quick to Judge. and so I was like, dude, you have to do that. And so when he did it, he dedicated it to me, which was very sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he's one of my favorite people. We've played together forever. But just like, Kerubo was in there. There was this crazy guy playing like an ngoni. I can't even remember his name, but the diversity of that show was so cool. So I'm really glad that you caught that, because that was so fun.
It just looked like fun. Yeah. And what for a great cause too. I mean, I've had Will Daly on here. He was a big part of that. The New England Musicians Relief Fund, and as you mentioned, Adam Klein did a great job promoting a lot of that stuff. And it was I've had so many artists come in here that benefited from that. Like just a lot of smaller artists that were grinding and had their lives taken away from them, and it really helped. It's cool to see like the other side of that, when wow, you actually got that and got through it with that money. That's great.
$1,000 goes a long way.
Yeah.
And that's, I got one too. My percussionist Joppa Garcia that I was telling you about, he got one. And it's amazing how and literally, like, we joke around and keep the lights on, but it's a good $100 a month in old VT. I don't know what it is here, but so you pay the electricity for a year, like, it's incredible. And also just supporting artists, man, like whatever people can do. Like, I joke around about Spotify because it's a joke, literally. The money that those guys make off of artists and pay them nothing. Like, it's like, well, actually, I make money off of it, but if you're getting 1 million streams, you're gonna make $5,000.
Yeah.
People don't understand that that's not supporting an artist putting on their Spotify.
Yeah, that Spotify debate continues to come up because
it's great. It is a debate, but anyway, we don't need to go down there.
We've done it here before.
The point is just to support the artist. Like, if they have a Venmo or a PayPal and you had a good week, man, just fly them some bread. Yeah. Because it means so much to them.
I feel like that probably dwindled down a little bit. I mean, other people are still going through tough times too, as we still are in this. I know it feels like we're out of it, but we're not quite. But I keep saying this about all the musicians. It's so like uplifting for me. It seemed like every musician just wanted to help. It was like, they wanted to help the bartenders that were in trouble. Like it was like I had this weird like, oh, you were thinking about them, yeah. And then at some point I remember thinking, oh wait, I'm not playing anymore either, so I might be in trouble here. And it's like they were just thinking about the bartenders for a while, and just the doormen, and doormen and women. And so it was just, I don't know, it was just this very uplifting, like the community sense of like, oh, we got to help others here, and like it was very like just selfless way of thinking. I was inspired by it during the pandemic. It was one of the things I'll always remember is how the music community just wanted to help each other out. And I think I haven't heard too many negative stories in that regard. So hopefully it was across the board. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, no, and I think we always want to help. I think pandemic, but I think also, we also, our buddy that's on the gig too, Adam Ezra, does a ton for the veterans. And we're always, one of my things that we work with a lot is the mental health community. And just helping people that need help, that might not really know that they need help, know that there's resources out there. And so we work with a lot of Vermont mental health groups, and Federation for Vermont Families, and I just think that's so important. Just to when you can to give back, because we're definitely not a wealthy rich band by any means, but when we do make a nice little nugget, it's really cool to give back. To in a little way. We just raised $1,000 for the families in the Ukraine through our Trap Family Live show.
It's such a big part of it for you. I've noticed that. It's like, it seems like there's certain artists that immediately jump out at you that, like, whenever they're doing something, it seems like it's for something good, and you're kind of one of those guys. You're always kind of looking for that angle where, let's see how we can make this into something cool for whatever the cause. That's always been a part of it for you?
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, since I was, when I was a kid, my duo, Chad and Jeff, with my buddy Jeff Wick in Burlington, Vermont, we went to UVM together, and then we're like, hey man, we had our first band was together called the Imaginates, and then went into the Positions, and then we were Chad and Jeff, and we gave 10% of everything we made to women helping battered women, and so it's like just always you just doing a small little part, and we've done some work with Prevent Child Abuse Vermont. And Ed McBride there, and so I think it always has been a part. I just think because it's also just doing something good and having more people know the music. I mean, for me, the music is the heart and soul of it. But if we can get it out there to a new audience and do something good, then that's a win-win.
Well said. Chad Hollister. Spending time up there in Vermont. I know you get another one here for us. I feel like we could probably talk all day. I want to make sure I get your music out there, too. But I haven't seen you in a while.
We're brand new friends, so it's fun. I look forward to hanging with you more, because it's just like the stories are endless. I mean, literally, we're not going to bore you people, don't worry. But we could spend hours just talking stories, road stories, and great people, great musicians, great songs, great. It's just, I think that's the thing too that always comes to the forefront for me, is how lucky I am to play music.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's never not interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I play to sometimes very few people, and I still love to play for those few people. Some guy I made $1. I made $1 today.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, I made $1, and hold on, he gave me pennies too, so I'm gonna put it out right here so you guys can hear it. Yeah.
What was this? So you were what, doing a sound check earlier, or what?
I played a show in Cambridge.
Okay.
A little lunchtime set, and this guy came up and he said, hey, he had his yoga mat. It was really cool, man. You just never know what you're gonna get. And there's this great little lunchtime series I do for a company there, and he said, is it okay to tip? He's like, is that okay? I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, gas is really expensive, man. I drove 3.5 hours to get here. So he comes up and there was no tip. I don't have a tip bucket,
Yeah.
Because I should always have one. But he put down $1, and then he put 56 cents.
$1.56. Yep,
so
that's my count.
Quarters are gold for parking. I know you all have these. In Vermont, we still have things where you put a quarter in.
Is that right? Boston does not have them anymore. I don't think there's any left. I checked this out the other night.
We have some, and so I really and then my front right tire is low on air, so that costs me $2 every time I need to get air.
So that almost gets you there.
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty close to air. Actually, no, the one off exit 18 on 89 is $1.50. So I made that.
So thank you is what you're saying.
I'm so stoked. The yoga guy.
It's really the thought that counts anyway, right? You mentioned Adam Ezra earlier, who you're playing with Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you know Sarah was one more Sarah story. She was nice enough to stay here. Adam Ezra and I have been trying to do this show together for a long time, but you know him. He plays literally everywhere all the time.
He's the hardest working guy I know.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Touring. Yeah.
So he said, "Listen, man, like I don't have many dates, but like I'm coming back from Maine after a gig on like a Thursday night at like 11. I think we got a little bit behind. Long story short, our show got recorded here at like 12:15 in the morning, and Sarah was nice enough to like hang out. We did a midnight show recording.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I don't care about him. She's the one who stayed.
Yeah, you're talking about Sarah.
No.
Sarah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he was great though. Adam was great.
Yeah,
So
he's the real deal.
You guys will have fun Saturday as you play. What time's your set? Do you remember?
I do. We're on from 1:30 to 2:30.
All right. So if everybody wants to go check out Chad, 1:30. Don't be late.
Get there at 1.
Get there at 1.
Actually, you know what? Get there at noon because Freeholt's playing.
There you go. Yeah.
Good Michael Bernier and his posse.
Yeah.
Bringing out the positive reggae, local vibes, man.
It's a cool lineup.
Yeah.
I like that. You guys will be impressed always, and just like I said earlier, perfect setting for it too. I hope you have fun with that. You mentioned something before we played that last song about I've played the rooms of small and large, right?
Yeah.
I had a younger artist on here last week,
Yeah.
mid-20s. And I got the impression she was kind of telling me, it's funny, like it's weird coming out of the pandemic, like some of these places just aren't that crowded for whatever reason. Like I'm playing a lot of restaurants and like even the beautiful spots on the water that always would be jam-packed. Like I don't know if it's because of staff shortages and they're small, the rooms are smaller. I don't know what the deal is, but it feels like the crowds just aren't coming out. And I was thinking like that must be a little disappointing going out there, pouring your heart out and playing in small rooms. Like, you've seen it all over the years. Like what's the best advice you've ever got as a young musician, or the best advice you have for the young musician, however you want to handle that?
Is play,
Yeah.
play, and write. I think one of the things is I'm always working on my craft, getting better as a songwriter. I'm starting to do more co-writes. Adam Ezra's a perfect example of that. We wrote a tune off my latest together called Here and Now, and I mean Adam, he's awesome. He co-writing, with friggin' John Oates,
yeah,
and with all kinds of people. But find stretch yourself, and also work on it. Like I did. Andrea Stolpe is a Berkeley professor, and I did a songwriting workshop retreat with her. And I just went, and with 25 other songwriters, we just shedded for the week, and we worked together, and it was specifically kind of working on co-writes.
Yeah.
But just work on your craft, and know that there's a place for it. I think I've been through the pandemic. I've been working to my music, learning how to work my music to TV and film.
Yeah, nice.
And so the sync world is huge because there's so much stuff, especially if you're kind of an instrumentalist or lighter stuff, that you can do acoustic versions or whatever. So just work hard. I think that's the thing, and don't get down.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, man. I have played to nobody, and if you still love playing, obviously you can't do that always. You'll really become depressed. But just know that that the people are on the way, and here's the thing: if you believe it, they'll believe it. I remember I was playing Nectar's one night, and I just played a song that I wrote for my daughter called Riley Odelia. And he came up to me and he blasted me with a truth that pissed me off and hit home at the same time. And he said, if you sing every song like you just sang that one, you're going to be huge. And I was kind of like, thank you.
Yeah.
And he's right. He's right, because there's something, singing a song about your daughter and that whole thing.
Genuine.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Honesty, which is something that I really try and go for. But it was true. And he also told me that we needed a female lead vocalist, so I think a few extra heady tapas in his system. Because I told him he should go home. He's given me enough advice for a lifetime to ponder. No, but just stay positive. Just that's the thing, and laugh a lot. And just keep playing, keep writing. I've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to.
So you started when you were 8? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I was 4 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the very first American Idol back in 1992. It was called Sing Out.
When did you pick that thing up? Who inspired you?
Well, I was a drummer, so
Yeah.
I really didn't pick up guitar until later in life. I realized, with Chad and Jeff, the dude I was telling you about, I was on congas, and he was on acoustic guitar, and we did a lot of harmonies and stuff.
Yep.
And then after that, I realized I want to start my own band, and I didn't want to be Phil Collins. Drumming from behind.
Yeah.
So. Although I did do that with bands growing up, I was the drummer that sang.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I loved it, and it certainly taught me a lot.
Hard nights, drummers who sing. Those are long ones.
Yeah, you gotta pack up a lot. But I don't even know. But it was after the Chad. It was probably in around, geez, let's see. So 94. Yeah, probably like 98.
Yeah.
When I picked up the guitar.
Wow.
So it's not, it has not been attached to me, but it is now.
What is it about the drummer to frontman story? There's a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I think the drummer, well, no, I won't say always, but I really wanted to be out front.
Yeah.
I wanted to, to front the band and not to be like, hey, look at me, but I just didn't feel like being stuck behind the kit.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, but I mean, I'm a huge Dave Grohl fan, huge, Don Henley, Phil Collins. Phil Collins, good Lord, man.
Yeah.
Still doing it, sitting in a wheelchair.
I know.
I was literally thinking about him a couple days ago.
I was too, actually. That's weird because one of those shows came through Boston a few months ago, and this is their farewell tour, I believe.
Yeah.
And the Boston show, I guess, went well, but yeah, it's great to see him still up there. Hope he's doing all right. It was weird seeing him kind of.
It is weird. It's strange.
There's your dollar. Yeah. We should. Maybe I can match that. Maybe we get $2 around. We can
frame it.
You want to frame it? Then we can keep it in the studio.
Well, we have to put no, I'm going to keep the quarters, but you can keep the 6 cents.
Okay.
$1.06.
Yeah, you got to keep the $1.50. It's for the air and the tire.
Yeah.
Again, Chad Hollister joining us here. Nice enough to take some time on a summer day. He's busy. He already did a gig today, and he's nice enough to come to Newburyport here for us. You going right back to Vermont, or?
It's a pleasure. No, I've got another hit tomorrow, and then of course, Saturday is Riverfront Fest.
There you go. Beautiful. Well played, sir. You, my friend, know the business. This is fun. Teach the kids a few lessons about how you. Is there our set? I mean, you're probably used to playing. You can play anything, I know. Do you craft an hour festival set a little different, or
totally?
Just yeah.
So we have the horns. So we have Alex Lee Clark,
nice.
From Boston, who's a legendary trumpet player, and Chris Peterman on sax, who's our horn leader. And then Yalba Garcia's on percussion, and then Primo lead guitar, Rudy on bass, and Tommy Deal coming up from Connecticut on the drums. So that. Point being, why I listed everybody is just that when it's just me or when it's duo like Primo and I can just curve and turn and not make a set list. But when we've got limited time, we really don't veer off it. So yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. Oh right, yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, I just figured it out. But yeah, to underestimate rather than overestimate, because I talk.
Yeah.
And I jam and I drum on my guitar, and we got to have the percussion drum solo, we have to have the trumpet solo, the sax solo, the lead guitar solo, blah blah blah. So I figure it all in. So that day, and maybe you can count the songs, but we will not. I'd say it'll be 8 songs.
Okay. You're a man with a plan already.
I am. I'm thinking about it because it's like we've got a 60, we got a 75, we got a 90. Like the 90-minute set is definitely 11, 12 songs. It's probably 12. So like we know, and then there's songs that are 8-minute songs when I go off and doodly on my guitar.
Do the Chad thing.
Yeah, it's a craft. So it will be a well-crafted set, especially with all those people in the river. There's not like, hey, what song do you guys want to play next?
Which is also, I'm sure that would work out too.
It would work fine. It's just not pro, and we've been doing it too long to not be professional.
There we go. Well, what do you got next for us, my man?
I'm going to do a brand new one.
Ooh.
That I wrote with my sister. Throughout COVID, I was creating custom songs, and some of these songs, are for like anniversaries or weddings or what have you. This one was for my sister's company. She owns a placement agency in Boston, and part of it is the company and its placement, but the other focus is on mindfulness and on bringing mindfulness into the workplace. So this song was specifically for that, and it is kind of taken off in my world and her world, because she wrote we co-wrote the lyrics, but it's pretty much her.
Oh, wow.
Because she just channels. It's amazing. And she's not really a lyricist, but she is now. And so this is a song that she uses for her podcast, which is kind of interviewing different people about mindfulness and their journeys and so on. And so we're going to kind of roll it out once it's not released yet. It's going to also be on the new record. But written by my sister Kip Hollister and myself. This is called Inner Sovereignty.
Chad Hollister on Joppa Afternoon Drive.
Am I enough? Seems worlds away. Find the light, unseen energy inside. Make my steps up, meet the dark night of my soul. Wakes me to make me whole. Amidst all the fears, let those voices disappear. Let the voices disappear. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty. I am worthy where I wanna be. My inner sovereignty. Lead with heart and love. Sacred feminine from above. All emotions, feel them all. Out of the ego mind we go, present to what makes us grow. Like a river, let it flow. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty. I am worthy where I wanna be. My inner sovereignty. Floor to her crashing waves, feel the riptides, stay still and alive. You are enough in the vastness of the sea. Find peace, just be. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty, where I'm free to be the energy of me. My inner sovereignty, where I'm free to be the energy of me. My inner sovereignty. Ooh, my inner sovereignty. My inner sovereignty.
Yeah. Woo! Chad Hollister, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Very nice.
Joppa, even with the wrong chord in there. Oh boy, there was a really good one in there, a good clam, and it's just good that we're alive. This is knowing this, so you guys know I really make mistakes a lot.
All mistakes are purely intentional, though.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, because then I look to Primo and I say, it's jazz now.
I've had again, usually younger people on here, and they've been like, oh, should we redo that? Do you think if we pre-record a show maybe? And I'm like, no, it's such a good moment for you. You picked it up and you kept going.
When you say, have you heard the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, exactly.
There are many mistakes on those records that just literally they kept.
Yeah.
You can't, you can't mess with a take.
There's a rawness to it, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just a beauty, because music is not meant to be perfect.
Yeah.
And if it is, there's something wrong. That's like Steely Dan really rode the line. They literally spent 6 months on a snare drum sound.
Right.
Like, I'm not kidding. Yeah. It's like, guys, and Steely Dan. Hey, listen, nothing to get, but it is like, come on. Because for us, there's definitely the rawness is beautiful.
Yeah.
And not being, sometimes things might not be crazy in pitch, or I mean, the pitch is actually something you got to be careful of, so you don't want it to be off. But
can turn people out of a room.
Yeah, the little mistakes in there, little simple groove things or little guitar riffs or thing where it didn't double it or just like it should stand on its own.
I hear Chad Hollister again. This has been so nice of you, by the way. I know you're a busy man. We've been trying to make this work for a little while here. And,
this was perfect, especially being around, and it's nice. My family's pretty close by, and I just look forward to spending time. I got to figure out where my hotel is. It's somewhere around here. I tried to look in town, but they were all booked up. Michael was nice enough to turn me on to some places.
A lot of people around this time of year. You're reporting the summertime, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But I know you're excited about Saturday's show. Again, you go on at 1:30.
Yep. It's the whole day starts at noon.
Yep.
And Free Volt's on noon to 1. We hit 1:30 to 2:30, and then Adam Ezra's 3 to 4, and Brett Denon is 4:30 to 6.
It's funny. So we've had 3 of those 4 artists on this show. And we've had Michael on and as a solo thing, but you get to see his band, and we had Ezra on, as I talked about. The only one. So now I just need the closer, I guess. Well, make that happen for me, will you?
He's a good dude, man. He's quirky. He's really nice, though. He's very introspective and a really thoughtful, intelligent guy.
Nice.
He's wicked smart, as we say in Vermont.
You've met so many damn people. Like we said, we could talk for days about stories. But who's the guy you've played with or met that like you were like, okay, yeah, I'm a little starstruck at the moment?
Billy Gibbons was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, he's ZZ Top's lead singer, the guy with the beard.
Yeah. For the kids out there.
Yeah, for you kids. But he, there was a moment where I had dug in. I opened his first solo tour ever. That he had done. I opened the last 5 shows. And he had finished. He sound checks in his pajamas. And so he was there, and he has these glasses on, bifocals. He doesn't wear his glasses on stage, but because they make him look really old, and he is really old. I mean, he's the guy. But I had done my homework, and I had looked up some old footage of like this one show that blew me away, because I've always loved Nationwide, the Nationwide, and then it does that, go now, go now, go now, go. It goes into this like 6/8, but it doesn't lose time. It sounds to like people that it's like slowing down, but it's not. It's just grooving. And so I said to him, hey man, we were just about sound check, and he was coming off, and so we were side stage, and I said, oh man, I was checking out the show last night, and somehow he was like, he said, I remember, because it was in Europe, and he said, it was in Denmark, and I said, and that version of Nationwide just torched me, and I looked at him and I said, the Ghana, and we did it together.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, and he, Billy's going no, go, and I'm like, the hair stood up on my arm, and I'm like, I just sang the 6/8 portion of Nationwide with Billy friggin' Gibbons. So, but he was really genuine, and I'd say between him and Warren Haynes, I got to play with Warren and meet him. And like two of the most real people in rock and roll.
Oh, I'd love to hear those stories.
Yeah, because there are the others, and you never know what they went through that day. Because I mean, they, with these labels or whoever, tour.
List them all. We want to know. Just kidding.
They work them hard, man. It's like like literally, trying to get Adam Ezra in here, who's he's crazy busy, but he's busy because he wants to be.
Right.
He's not busy because a label's telling him to be.
Right.
And that's where they work him to the bone. So anyway, but there's so many beautiful people out there doing it, and those are 2 of my faves for sure.
There you go. Good stories there. Yeah. Are you a we're new friends, I think, as you phrased it earlier. I don't know you too well, but we've starting to get to know each other.
Give it time, Drew.
Give it time. It's a relationship blossoming.
That Chad is such a jerk.
Are you I don't know. We'll let Sarah decide. Are you a Red Sox Vermont fan?
I am. I am.
A
Yep.
Vermont Red Sox fan, I should say.
I am. I totally am, and not in a big way. Just that I'm.
You get weird Yankee creeping up there too, right?
No. Yeah. But well, my wife's from Albany, and so she toys with it a little bit, but she doesn't dare. I mean, and not, but I am. I'm in full support of the Sox.
Nicely
Go
said.
Sox.
I'm in full support.
I'm in full support, and I also hello Red Sox. If you're listening, I'd like to play Fenway someday.
Sure.
So I mean, that's also kind of a bucket list. Red Rocks and Fenway are two of my bucket lists.
Oh, I understand that.
I
haven't done Red Rocks. I would love to do that one day. It's on my list.
Yeah, I've been
when you
there.
play Red Rocks, I will go. We'll check it both off together.
Nice. I've been multiple times.
Playing though,
but playing Red Rocks is going to be a good one.
Cool.
Yeah.
And summer plans other than music? What does Chad do to stay busy?
I hang out with my family. I have my daughter 17, and so she's.
What's her name? You could say hi. What's her name?
Riley Odelia.
Hi, Riley.
And she's back home, and then my son Bodie is 14, and my wife Katie, who's a full-time artist as well. She's a painter.
Oh, wow.
KatieO'RourkeArt.com.
Do the kids love seeing you?
They do.
Or are they sick of Dad?
Well, both. I mean, they like the perks. They love backstage.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Philip Phillips, and I wasn't at. I was at that show, and I just when I'm not at the show, so Michael Franti.
Yeah.
I was on the road, and Bodie went and ended up dancing on stage with Michael Franti, not like with a group, just Bodie. 'Cause the tour manager, he was backstage, and I said, "Dude, you don't go into Franti's dressing room, because he's so at home backstage. He would just roam in, and they'd be like, 'Hey, dude, what's up?' But he said, 'I won't, Dad.' So he hung out and stayed, in the main room of the dressing room. It's like this hotel at National Life, and so the tour manager saw him. He's kind of a hip hop, not kind of. He's a really good hip hop dancer. So saw him doing his thing, and Bodie didn't know who the guy was, but he said, "Would you like to dance with Michael Franti?" And Bodie's like, "Yeah." So my phone starts blowing up, and Bodie is on stage with Franti, and just had a gas. But they love it, I mean, and I think they get tired of it at times, but they certainly love where they get to go, and the pools they swim in, and the places we we stay in some really nice places, and they love that. But the music, they're like, "Dad, we know all your songs."
Yeah. What's your favorite one to play these days?
I'm really a fan of Inner Sovereignty.
Yeah.
Because it's
the family
new.
thing.
Yeah, and Flowers, Sovereignty and Flowers. You got two kind of brand new ones.
I think I messed that up off the air earlier with you. I think I told you what did we hear you in Boston? Was it Home maybe that we put in Boston? I think we had. I was thinking it was Breathe, but maybe I was trying to think. For news purposes, we used one of your songs like months ago.
Oh, I think it was Home.
I love that song.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
That's cool. So that's an Alasia production. So John Alasia produced My Life record. That literally that acoustic guitar. That's such a cool sound. It's going through an old Gibson 6-inch amp. At Applehead Recording in Woodstock, New York. So I geek out thinking about that. But Alasia that did Dave Matthews' first two records, and John Mayer's Room for Squares and OAR.
Sweet.
I was listening to OAR in my CD player while we were recording Life, and sorry, Mark, it wasn't very good. And I was like to Alasia, he's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, I was like, he's got something, And since have played with Mark a few times.
He's a good man, isn't he?
He's a really good guy.
They're on tour with Dispatch right now.
Yeah, and Chad Stokes is
another great one.
Is a good, really great guy doing
that Dispatch things. Was like that's for me. It's like that's when that moment hit for them. It's weird. Like I was in college, and they were monsters, and it was like, but people like 3 years younger than me and like 5 years older than me.
No idea.
Like they're people never heard of them. Wait, who? And it's like, how did that moment in time happen? It's the weirdest thing.
I can tell you what happened. Those guys, Chad's brilliant.
Yep.
And the band, is brilliant. But their marketing plan was genius, because you think about where, college is 4 years.
Yep.
But prep school is also 4 years. And then kids that go to prep school chances are they're going to go into that workforce. So you really gain lifelong fans. So they toured high schools and prep schools.
Yeah.
And those prep school kids go off to really good colleges, and so they built this prep school college circuit. And then they had great music. I mean, it's not like there's some sucky band that is making it big. There are a few of those, but we won't. but the point being is that they're brilliant and they're great. Like his energy towards social goodness is amazing.
Yeah.
He and his wife are incredible people, and they do such good things. And I think that it goes a long way. And their fan base is just so socially conscious and mindful. And
it's cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, man.
He came on the show too, and he was, because sometimes you get worried, right? Like, I've met you before. I had never really met him when he came on the show. We just kind of interacted, and like you always get wonder, like, is he really as good a guy as it seems? He's the real deal.
He is.
Love that.
Well, I was doing a political gig for Alan Casey, who was running for governor.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Dear friend, and Chad came down to support, and I brought him up, and he sang
cool.
"Best Friend's Girl" with me.
Oh, nice.
And then
not a Chad Stokes song.
No, and he was like so chill about it. 'Cause I was like, dude, let's do something. And he's like, okay, we'll do that. Like he didn't care. I gave him my guitar, and then he sang. He did a couple of his own.
You got that on what album?
Which one?
Don't you have that on?
Best Friend's Girl, is on the Chad Hollister record that that I did with Anthony Resta. It's just
cool.
the Chad Hollister.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's the one before Stop the World.
And he's great too. Besides Dispatch, I like the songwriter Chad, so I like all his other projects too. With the Pintos
Pintos are cool. State
They're
Radio.
awesome. Pintos,
State Radios had a radio had that kind of heavier edge to it.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun. Kind of like the Neil Young Crazy Horse when Neil Young
right.
And did the out of the blue and into the black. It was kind of like Stokes' State Radio.
I like that. See, we could do this all day.
Yep, yeah, I know.
Well, that means you have to have me on again.
Sarah's like, cut you two. Listen, lovebirds.
Well, Chad Hollister, again, thank you so much for making time. I do. I mean this seriously. I know you are a very busy man, and
You've
thank
said
you for
that
making
a lot.
the drive.
Stop saying that.
But you are. I know these. I know these
I-
people that like go out of their way to get here, and I'd like to make sure that it's not taken for granted. I really do appreciate it.
Well, I also appreciate it because it's cool to meet new fans and friends, and what a cool place here. Man.
Yeah,
I was
right.
talking to your peeps here, your wonderful executive director,
Sarah Hayden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's real special. And boy, for goodness sakes, let's get some money behind this station and make it into a big thing because she works so hard.
Look at you. We have fun.
Yeah. Well, it's true though. I mean, it's just these little gems in towns like this need to be celebrated, and so I want it to be celebrated more. Okay.
Aw, you're the best.
Yeah.
You want to bring us home?
Yes. I'm gonna bake warm muffins. I'm gonna make muffins and bread.
Just consider yourself family now. You walk in here anytime you want.
Well, and likewise, you got a place in Vermont. Come hang out.
You'll probably be playing Massachusetts a little bit too. I know Newburyport Saturday, but just keep an eye on your website. Is that a good thing to do?
Yeah,
or?
chadmusic.com.
Yeah.
Facebook's a really good spot for me where I kind of keep peeps apprised to that. So yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, go find Chad Hollister out there. See him Saturday.
Find him. Like Waldo.
On the waterfront. Going to be fun. What are you going to bring us home with?
Let's see. Let's do a little bit of home. For you.
I like that play. There you go. Chad Hollister. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, rest of the weekend. Be good out there. Sarah Blackstone. Thank you. Chad Hollister, the best.
Sarah Blackstone. Everybody's got a place there, but they call home. Yeah. So it might be a box or it might be a castle or maybe a funky flat in Rome. Yeah. Is it a place where your life can simply just pass you by? Yeah. And then you don't even have to stop and think and wonder. Still wonder why. So sit home, I'm going home, going home. Home, I'm going home, going home. I said, but at home, I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. Oh. Hey, lie, by and by. Souls do shine, I and I. Oh yeah. said, oh my, oh my. See, there's no more wasted. There's no more wasted time. Something like that. It's 4:20 in the morning and I cannot seem to sleep. All of this tireless energy is all of the souls in my brain. See, but they compete. They compete for my mind and for my time and for the heat of the passionate verse. Yeah. I said most times I feel that it's a blessing, but sometimes I think it appears to be a little bit of a curse. Yeah. So you know what I do is I ride away day after day. I keep on driving down that dusty road. I-89 to 93 to 95. And then my eyes look at the sky, realize who we are and where we need to go. Yeah. You see, at home I'm going home, going home, going home. Home I'm going home, going home, I'm going home, yeah. Home I'm going home, going home, right? Yes, I'm going on home. I see the home I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home. Home I'm going home, I'm gonna go to the down see the billboard, home, I'm gonna going home. Going home, yeah, I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. Yeah, going on home. Going on home. Going home. Someday, yeah. Someday.